So that'd be that Ace of Wands, kind of combined with this. Okay, so Ace of Wands was here, and then we have sideways rotation. It looks like, with and ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then that turns into. It looks like we're probably going to be right into the universe card here. We're definitely early on the crest, but we definitely called that gap up. That's for sure. And there's a lot of price movement off of the high as expected. The high was nullified. The low is also nullified, which is interesting. The high and the low both nullified. I don't know if I've ever seen that. That might be the first time I've seen that. Wow. It's a little early though, I feel like. It's only 12:28. Anyhow, so my sense is that we have another gap up tomorrow. Yes, a fast sudden move higher. I pulled the swiftness card twice, and then it kinetically flew out of the deck into my lap. That's pretty concise. Selling from overbought territory on RSI at this overbought crest at resistance. First thing in the morning tomorrow. Looks like another bearish day with another gap up. It's interesting, but it makes a lot of sense based on. So I think I'm getting that. I think I've gotten that. Do we open higher or lower kind of thing figured out, guys? You have no idea how long it took me to figure that out. A long time. Like that's probably the most recent and most difficult thing that I've had to figure out. That most recently figured out. So in any case, makes a lot of sense, right? Because we've got this crest here on the 19th. This is pretty much a bearish card. The 18th is a bearish card. The 19th is. It's usually. I mean, it's hard to. It's not. It's a neutral card, but like it's speaking about a resistance level usually or a technical price level. And then we have a bearish card on the 20th, but there's this month's crest correlation here on the 19th. And we keep having these gaps up, right? Up, 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 up. But we finish the day down, down, down. Did we finish down that day? I don't know. Let me see it. 17. Oh, that's the 17th. Yeah. No, we didn't finish down. But it's like we're right back almost to that level again. Anyhow, so we've got significant bearish cards. Like the early cards for today were like a couple of them were bullish. There's a neutral. There's two neutrals and there's a bearish. But the end of the day, like the second half of the day, is pretty much all bearish except for the close card. And the correlation, the attempt to reestablish support was first thing in the morning. So I'm looking at the analytics, guys. Our new subscribers is starting to like take off. I want everybody to know, like, this isn't a promise because I don't know if it's possible. But like we've blown up, the price of everything is going up like substantially. But everybody that's been a part of this, building it, they'll remain at whatever prices we were at. Like, as a like huge thank you for helping us get there. Just throwing that out there, guys. It's going to get to a point where I'm not going to be able to do everybody's request. Highly recommend people consider the 1 month recurring subscription where you select the stock that you want. That helps at the channel substantially too, but that'll guarantee it gets shown. Right now we're good. I think I've pretty much handled almost every request so far. There's actually quite a few to go, but I mean I'm on top of it. But at some point that's going to happen, guys. I need that to happen. It looks like unless I start making serious money, like in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm probably moving back to New York City in November. I don't know how I feel about it because I've moved so many times, but it is a necessary move. And there's a lot of benefits of me being there. Plus, I think Hermes will be a lot happier there. There's a lot more dogs to play with. Interesting. I think I meet a female air sign there. That just pumped out of nowhere. Yeah. So in any case, we're what we're seeing here is like a combo. We're being misled here. This is this Ace of Wands being misled, right? Coming up on a crest. Okay, so I see we're probably looking like a rotating on a support level here. That would make sense. So we're in the Knight of Discs, very likely. And it would also make sense this Ace of Wands is not as pronounced as it could have been because we're in a strong bearish downtrend. So this would be Ace of Wands, right? This right here. I guess that's enough of a move to be considered Ace of Wands. And now what we should be doing, this should be here, is this is like a support level here that we should rotate along until we have a fast sudden move higher that ends that rotation. In the midst of that fast sudden move higher, there's an opportunity to open up another short position. And we should see that fast sudden move higher relatively soon here. Might say this is the support here. It's like here. Ace of Wands, sideways rotation of Knight of Discs. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry to cough in your ears. We're at the 200-day on the 1 minute chart. Let's see where we're at here. Interesting. Okay, so this is... That really looks a lot more solid when I look at it on the 10 minute chart. Looks more solid as far as accuracy. Not that the 1 minute chart didn't look accurate, but this looks significantly more accurate. Remember, guys, there's also this clairvoyant impression that I was receiving at the time of doing this reading, like laying the cards. Sometimes I get clairvoyant impressions or like clairkinetic impressions. If you guys don't know what I mean by that, there's a lot of stuff about psychic development on my TikTok channel, which is Tarot for Traders, but with the number 4. We're going to be doing more and more of that on the TikTok. But it's definitely bearish, definitively bearish in the second half of the day. This card was face up. So, a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by a decline through support, like clairkinetics, just now. Clairkinetics, it's when like something moves on its own, or like you find like in a stack of like face down cards there just happens to be one face up, or like you're shuffling the deck and a card like flips out. I mean, I had a book fly off a shelf once in a spiritual store. I was like, which book should I get? And this book on tarot just went whoosh off the top shelf. There was nobody around. I hadn't touched the shelf. I mean, it was like just all of a sudden it was on the floor there. It's crazy. You know I bought that book. I definitely bought that book. Where is that thing? Huh. Oh, there it is. Right in front of my face. Essential Tarot Writings, collection of source texts in Western Occultism by Donald Tyson. It's a pretty good one. I'm not making money by telling you about this book. I'm just saying. You could absorb a book by going like this, guys. The way the subconscious mind works is everything that it sees impresses information upon the subconscious mind. When you don't notice that you're impressing it upon the subconscious mind, it's like you've internalized it without even knowing it. When you learn to trust your intuition, like on a real level of trust, you learn to trust your intuition, you can actually absorb the information of a book like this. Not that I don't like sit and read these books, but like when I'm in a bookstore, I find an interesting book, I'll do that a lot of the time, and I'll absorb the information. I don't know where half the shit that comes out of my mind comes from. Maybe it's from one of those books. So this definitely looks like a Knight of Discs, right? We've got sideways rotation, ending with a fast sudden move higher. It started at 1210-ish. We're now in the 1240s, so at the end of that period of time is where you see the fast sudden move higher. we're very likely hitting the top of the RSI again. Well, matter of fact, we're already through the 200 days significantly. Where is the 200 day on here? Oh, there we go. So I just want to point out, guys, if you're new to the channel, you haven't heard me talk about Mercury retrograde. This was the pre-shadow between these vertical lines here. This is what happened in the pre-shadow. We had a very strong downtrend, so we got like a skewed version of the reverse version. So if you like flip this around, and then you like slanted it downward more because of the overarching trend, you got like a reverse pattern. But that's not where the real opportunity is, because you're a madman if you decide to trade in it within these two verticals, where the retrograde period starts for Mercury and where it ends for Mercury. But where the opportunity is in the second shadow, the post shadow, because what happens in the pre-shadow tends to repeat itself in the post shadow, and that's not just on like the scale of like things that happen in life. It definitely is like on your daily life, but also in a stock chart. The stock chart, if you see, we went up, sharp drop through where we went up, right? Like this was a base, we went up and then dropped through it, came down lower, and then at the end of that period we went back up, right? We had up, drop past where we went up from, and then sharp drop, right? And then we come back up. Boom. So it's not an identical pattern, because you have to take into consideration that there are weekends at play here, and the weekends do not line up with trading days. I mean, like the trading days and the weekend days in one post shadow may not be symmetrical to the same, on the other shadow, if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, let me know. I'll try and explain it better. But there's Mercury retrogrades 3 times, sometimes 4 times a year. And I've been developing this strategy around Mercury retrograde for, at least since 2010, at least. And it's been very difficult because you're dealing with Mercury retrograde, which disrupts travel, communication, and electronics. And if you ask me, the stock market is really a combination of all three, including travel, because you have the price levels of the stocks travel. That's how I see it. Communication, everybody's utilizing it as a tool to communicate value, and it's electronic. So, you got to be very careful when you're trading around Mercury retrograde. That's why I say you're a madman if you trade in this period. Whenever I lose my money, it's inside this period here. Whenever I have a pattern day trading rule flagged and I end up with a 90-day pattern day trading hold, it's inside this period. So I've learned, even though I did it this period, which I got to say, guys, I was right and I still lost money in that period. I was right so many times I still lost money, because life happens and things go awry. It's like you're just better off sitting tight and waiting for this opportunity, because you can make a bunch of money in the first post shadow because there's a lot of price movement. Like you can see how volatility picked up, right? There's like a reversal and there's a reversal, sort of, right? And then there was a reversal and sort of a reversal here. Interesting. We're coming up on a Princess of Swords price level from 10.5. Or we were coming up on it. If you're wondering about the next retrograde, I sense somebody's probably wondering when the next retrograde period is. There's a really good site that tracks it. I did not mean to close my chart. Ugh, that's so annoying. There's a really this Cafe Astrology has a pretty good uh, track record. I've been following them for a while. Some of these other ones you can't really rely on because they don't. You got to be careful. Some people calculate where the shadow starts differently. This website, they do it quite well. Um, very reliable, very reliable if you ask me. And it also gives you a good explanation as to what Mercury retrograde is. Oh, went too far. There we go. So the pre-shadow starts on the 12th. Oops. Doesn't let me go back. Okay. Anyhow, so the pre-shadow, the first shadow period starts on the 12th of December. The official retrograde period starts on the 29th of December. It completes on the 18th of this December, and that's when the post shadow starts. So the real opportunity where we kind of mirror that pattern starts January 18th and ends February 7th. All right, so let's check out where we're at in October here. All right, October started there. So we had this move higher, but the high ended happened a lot sooner than I expected, and we came back down. Bunch of price swings into a low, and then moving towards a crest. Pretty solid. Looks like we're setting ourselves up for a significant drop here. We'll probably test this level, this price level. I don't know. It's this. If we're gonna go deeper, this is where it would happen this coming weekend. It looks like there's very likely another month's crest there at the end of the week, or probably into the first week of November even. November's going to be a little choppy. But there is an important high here in November as well. My sense is that it's early in November. Yikes. And there's also there's a significant climate related event taking place around like the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, like that period of time. Um, and an economic leader is highlighted as well. GTII. You want to look at it now? Is that what you're asking? I don't know if I have it for this month, but we'll see. I'm working on the November for that. That's on the list. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm in process on that one. The November one's already been started. I'm at the markup phase of GTII for November, and then I also started the 2023 for GTII. Will the November high be higher than the October high? Are you talking about for GTII outside well, or are you talking about S&P 500? Oh, I never updated you guys. I bought a November 2nd 351 put um, right around the open. I bought it here. Let me see. Oh, wait, no. I bought it a little sooner than that. I bought it up here. 934. Boom. I bought that November 2nd put, 351 put right there. Bam. Nailed that. I also cost averaged down on my October 24th 348 puts. Um, which before this turnaround we had here, late, this recent turnaround was actually, they actually became profitable for the day, which is what I was looking to do, is to get out of these puts that aren't so hot as soon as there's a big move to the upside, because I cost average them down. So be able to get out of them probably for no loss, or around even, maybe even for profit. We'll see. You're just better off like repositioning yourself with options when there's a big move, like not in your favor. You just reposition yourself, and then you modify your strategy so that the legs that didn't do so hot, that you can get out at even or something. And I do want to just point out that the 348 puts that I've cost averaged down on, I also sold against those, and the 351 puts that expired on the 21st, and took in quite a nice chunk of change on a credit trade for both of those when I bought them back at like almost nothing the following morning. Hopefully people have been doing this. Is the November high higher than the October high? For S&P 500. Yeah, my sense is yes, that it's higher than the October high. So it depends on what happens here because this area here. There's so much going on. When you get that much going on in like a small amount of time, it becomes difficult to determine the sequence of events. Sometimes there's a strong possibility of a high here, like a significant high at the end of the month, and then in November it looks like on the second we have a crest as well, and an opportunity on the fourth in the midst of a rally, maybe on the third in the midst of a move higher through resistance. There's an opportunity to position oneself for a downturn. Let's take a look at the 1 year. How about that? Man, this spread is so outdated. I've updated this 1 year spread twice since I did this 1 year. By the way, guys, the 1 year reading that we're utilizing right now, it was created May 11th, 2021. We're using it over a year later. Over a year later. And my new 1 year spreads are way more effective, I feel. So we have an opportunity. No, no, no. I think it may be the same high or slightly higher. There's a critical price level in early November highlighted, flattens out at that resistance level, and then we off of the high there's sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend preceding a rally. It looks like probably see the high before the low. No, you see the low before the high. You see the low before the high. Interesting. Hey guys, if you're just hopping on to TikTok, we are live on YouTube right now on our Tarot for Traders channel, looking at live S&P 500 chart and some of the tarot readings that we did. So here we go, guys. This is the universe card probably happening right here. Right, we had sideways rotation along support. Right, we've created support here, sideways rotation along support with a fast sudden move high, marking the end of that period of rotation. And we're now coming up on the 1 o'clock hour. We're at the 1 o'clock hour. This would have been 12:57. Would have been the opportunity to open up that protection. Man, I must have nailed that. I must have nailed it. I hope I put the minute in there because that's right on the ball. And now we're in the midst of that universe card, so we should see a significant drop here throughout the remainder of the day. Hey Raymond. Yeah, I think we are very much on course for that. Sounds like you got some good positions. Hopefully you bought them, at a peak or in the midst of a rally, because that really helps to ensure that you purchased them at the right time. Entry with options, especially entry point, is so important, guys, because it's like you might be right about the move, but if you got in at the wrong time, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get anything out of it. You might be right about the exit point, but you missed the entry. In any case, those sound pretty solid. I purchased right at 9:34 in the morning. I purchased a 351 put that expires November 2nd. It really boggles my mind sometimes how I lived in poverty for so long, being able to do this. The irony of my life. I mean, there's going to be a book about my life someday, I'm sure of it. I'll be in the history books. I just hope I'm alive to see it. I mean, it's possible that we even head into that downturn today. I mean, there's a lot going on here that makes me think like we kind of just this crest is probably a price level that we've already hit on the 19th because the science level comes into play a few times over this period. Like we're flirting with it. What do I mean by that? Science level on the 17th. Science level at the high on the 17th. We should mark that. I don't know why that's not marked. So this is all science level here, guys. Like, matter of fact, let me open up a new chart with the drawing on it. Right, so the high, science level here was the high on the 17th, right? We have a correlation to the science card today at the high. Interesting. Which is really Princess of Swords. Princess of Swords science. So it's a pretty significant price level there as well. But so like right here is significant. Right here is significant. And then we have science energy midday tomorrow. We've got science energy at the high on the 20th. That's what and it's not nullified here on the 20th, which makes me think that it holds at this point. It holds as resistance on the 20th. Man, there it is again on the 24th. Yeah, see, first thing in the morning on the 24th, there's an opportunity there to open up calls. Oh, excuse me, it's not the 24th. Where is it? The 21st. Interesting. No, that's not going to be right. Let's see. Because this is nullified. That's interesting. The Hermit card nullified. Hermit card energy around the trade there. And the Hermit card energy is like breaking through it's visiting past problems and breaking through a support level that we recently broke through once before. And that's a trade energy here. It's interesting. My sense is that there's a low here at the end of the month, and then it turns into a rally and a crest that like takes place at the very end of the month and into November. Yeah, it's pretty much bearish energy into the end of the day. You mix that with the clairvoyant impression that I received when I was doing the reading for failure card. It's a pretty strong move in the last 2 hours, it looks like, especially. But as far as an opportunity for puts, I bought my puts first thing in the morning. And then this right here would have been the other opportunity. There's a cash out opportunity right at the end of the day too. Interesting. So I'll probably sell against my puts at the end of the day. Probably buy a call again. On the 19th, we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity on the scale of a 1-day chart that's like within like a week's time, usually within 3 days. But in the midst of some erratic behavior back and forth early in the day, we revisit a crest. Yeah, thank you, my friend. I nailed it. It was 9:34 when I bought them. Also, if I went and I watched the video, I'm sure I probably said something about a crest, an opportunity to open up protection somewhere around like 12:55-ish. That's right on 12:55, my gosh. It's hard to say. Do I see the 20th? Hey guys, I'm also on YouTube right now doing live streaming of the S&P 500 and our tarot readings for the relevant time frames. So if I missed you, my apologies. You can always check out us live on YouTube right now. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. It's hard to say. Do I see the 20th closing higher than the 19th? Hard to say. Reason being is that the 19th is not an easy card to read, uh, and the 20th. We're flirting with this science price level throughout the week. It looks like into the 20th probably. And a nullified hermit card. Interesting. It's nullified. Hey! No barking. Sorry guys, I gotta grab my dog. Everybody loves you, Hermes. You know? Give me kisses. Thank you. Want your bear? Yeah, there's most likely a notable gap up on the morning of the 20th, and then we should open higher on the 21st as well. Open higher than our close on the 20th, but that's just it. It's like we're doing some like flirting back and forth with this science price level. See, there it is again, even on the 25th. Halting of a bullish of a rally marked by a sharp decline through a key price level. 24th. Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Where are you going, huh? You gonna eat your food? He's not been eating very well. I think he has an upset stomach. Go eat your food, buddy. Okay? You're a good boy. Closing higher than the 19th. It's hard to say, my friend. Probably not. Just based on what I'm seeing here with the 1 month. It's the 19th should be the notable high, and I think probably we're going to see quite a bit of price swinging around that price level. Like this is going to be a bunch of price swinging in here. Like we probably gap down on the 24th. Let me take a look. Yeah, we gap down on the 24th. With a big move early in the morning. The completion of a bullish trend there. See, there's that science on the 25th again. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that based on the 1 month, it's a little fuzzy in the dailies. Based on the 1 month, it's right around the 19th that is that crest, and I don't think that we're going to see like these gaps up that we're seeing. They have like declines afterwards, so it's like we're hitting like a price level and coming back down. Depends on how far we gap up that really determines if there's a higher high, but like it's unclear on the daily, so I'm going to go ahead and say like there's a crest here on the 19th, maybe early on the 20th as well. Decline on the 20th. Looks like there's a decline at the end of the day here on the 19th. Off of the high. Actually, it might not even be end of the day. More like midday. The decline starts there. It may be the same high. So outside, well, it may be the same high, but I would be. I'm always going to be more prudent, especially when I'm advising people. Or telling them what I would do in their situation. It's not exactly advising. I'm going to go with the 19th as the crest. We may see it again on the 20th. And then we have these sharp drops. Looks like but there's significant moves here, guys. Probably those gaps up are pretty big. So like we're gonna see some like price swings here as well between like the 25th, 26th, 27th. Anyhow, I'm gonna do some more readings. If you guys have any more questions, I'm gonna hop back on around 3 o'clock, but I want to get some readings done in between. So, any last questions before I roll? Yeah, probably gap and trap. Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, cool. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your trades. I'll see you guys back around 3:15.